Do what I want.
Ooh. Yeah. Fuck COVID. He said, fuck the DG.
What's up, everybody? We here. One Heavy Podcast. Let me fix my scully. All these fucking dreadlocks under here looking like a mushroom cap.
Ooh.
Look at Mario 1-Up. Oh, man. So how's everybody doing? As you can see, you know.
Try not to eat all this food.
I know. We had to start this show because there's been no food left on this table. This guy got the munchies.
If like chicken and bacon starts coming off that salad, my bad. I'm staring at it long enough.
You put your hands in it, it's yours.
Say less. You got dressing, Jeremiah? I'm a simple nigga. I'll take some olive oil and vinegar.
It's hidden in the salad.
It's in the salad.
Oh.
It's probably like packets in there or something.
Yeah, that's not enough. That's not enough. That's never enough.
Oh, you niggas is fancy.
You just gotta find it.
No, I'm just saying, it's just never enough.
It's like a cereal box, dig to the bottom and
They
get
should give
the
you like
fries.
1.5 packets. That's all. Like I want my salad covered, like, you know.
You want your shit saturated?
I want that
No, not
pumpkin
saturated.
cream
I just said
pie.
covered. There's a difference.
So as you can see,
Yum.
you know, we are ready for the holiday season. I hope y'all enjoying with what limited family and friends you can have at the house, wherever you're watching from.
It's actually about this many.
Probably.
Yeah.
Definitely not this close though. We're definitely violating right now.
Yeah.
How Jeremiah had 2 leaves in the table and we're closer to each other than before. This dude's still eating the food though after we just had this discussion.
I mean, what do you want me to do, bro?
Not eat the food to the end of the show.
But these
like the
fruit
bad
looks so
kid.
fresh, bro. Look.
Break them shit.
It's
I
the
I'm
can't,
about to take the whole.
I can't even hold you.
I'm about to take it out.
Them strawberries is delicious.
First of all, the viewers don't give a fuck.
I don't
all
have
right?
the patience to cut fruit like
The rest
that.
of the people that want to eat it, that is not sitting directly in front of that bowl, would like to have some at the end of the show.
I just put 3 fucking strawberries.
You're
What's
the
the
only
matter
one
with you?
eating. The only one eating. Only one after you told everybody else not to. Only one eating. Just like your privileged, just like your overprivileged light-skinned ass to do so.
Then take this shit the fuck out of here. How about that?
I might grub up some shit with the
Beige rage is coming.
Wait. We got some hungry motherfuckers up in this bitch. Did you guys eat before we came?
This is your house. How did you not eat before we came in?
I was busy, bro. I just got home.
Oh, man.
Jeremiah's that guy.
All right.
Hey, let's get the show started.
He
Yes.
doesn't want to get the jokes no more.
Gosh, I was let's clean my ball. I'm going home.
Wait. What's everyone's plans for Thanksgiving?
Ooh, good question.
I'm going to Florida.
There you have it.
COVID.
We can expect him to get back and wait for another test.
Well,
I'm gonna have it scheduled.
I'll be in Florida too.
COVID as well.
Destin,
For 3.
Sheesh.
Destin, and then Tampa.
I'm entertaining at the house with my family.
Okay.
Will
Yes.
collard greens be in attendance?
Collard greens, candy yams, baked macaroni and cheese, turkey.
Yeah, if I really wasn't
And
going to 5 days
if you're
after,
going to be there before the prayer is said, you're going to be having your hands in all the food on the table, just like you are right now, just picking that shit.
Yo, we're trying to break this up right
If you host a party, you get first dibs. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
You know, I'm gonna be in the dirty South, so I'm gonna be having a lot of like, you know, Southern hospitality type of food. I'm excited because where I'm going, I had a taste of that before, and that was some good ass food.
This is excited for Wawa's.
Wawa.
I'm going to Wawa's all Thanksgiving.
Wait, Wawa's. I think I stopped there before. Is that a cheeseburger spot?
It's like everything.
It's like a.
It's a whole gas station.
It's like
It's like Cumberland Festival. It's like Cumberland.
No, I think no, because I stopped at this spot driving through the Carolinas, and they had like it was like a burgers and stuff, and the burgers wasn't bad. So I don't know, it probably was close to that name.
First of all, Wawa's is a culinary
It is a gas station.
It is a pristine.
It is. It's really. It has like a grill and everything in there. You can get sandwich and panini and
stuff.
all that stuff.
Shut your asses up. Shut up, all of you.
Pristine cuisine.
I'm not eating at Wawa's, okay?
If you're on the highway and you haven't stopped in like 4 or 5 hours, yeah, that should be smack.
No, it legit has like a
at least
real
3 times a day.
I mean,
That's the minimum.
You know.
3 times a day. Wawa's.
How about you? What are you doing, D?
working.
Try to soup him up to come visit.
Nah, I'm working.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna be DJing on Saturday night
Where?
in Newport for the last night.
Okay. There must be feeding you.
I mean, on Thanksgiving Day, I'll be
They
like at
probably
my
are.
family's house. Yeah, I eat pretty well over there. I can't front.
What time does everybody do Thanksgiving? Because everybody does it at a different time.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, I think the people that eat before 1 o'clock are weird.
Weird as fuck.
No, I'm not up that early.
Yeah, I've seen people eat by like 1 o'clock, and I'm
No,
like, wow.
I think a lot of I've seen people do that, but I see a lot of people try to tell people to be there for like 1, 2 o'clock, and usually by like between 3 and 5, 6 o'clock, they're actually eating.
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
But yeah, I've been there where people it's like, I'm like, yo, why are we here so early?
I know a lot of Caucasian families.
Yeah, I wasn't
They
gonna say
eat
it, but
really, really early.
Well, Cape Verdeans, you got to tell them it's at 12 o'clock, so they're there on time for 6 o'clock.
That is a
Like,
fact.
seriously.
that's what I was saying.
They want to be the first one there. Only ones there early is the old school Cape Verdeans.
Yes.
What's your favorite meal? Like favorite thing to have at Thanksgiving?
Lasagna with rice.
Lasagna with rice, not together.
What?
Yeah.
Double
I
carb?
don't make lasagna.
Like what? Wait,
I'm so confused. That don't even match.
lasagna
Don't
with
fucking match.
rice in it? Like
Not in it. Inside.
Lasagna with rice on the side.
heavy carbs.
Honestly, that's a super space.
Have you ever had?
It is.
Have you ever
It
had a
is.
plantain lasagna?
Yes, that shit
Oh my
slaps.
goodness! I made that one day and I was
It's
just
called
like,
a patelon.
oh my gosh, that shit is so good. So good.
The patelon is awesome.
So good.
It is good.
Okay,
Pata.
lo mío personal, dígame.
Yeah.
Ja. And I'm not even kidding.
But that was your favorite. Well, what about you? What's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing with Thanksgiving is
Cha,
my
cha, cha.
mother's stuffing. It's awesome. It's like a patella but better. It's awesome. Family recipe. It's awesome.
So you're not letting no insights on that recipe.
Nah,
You can't.
I gotta kill y'all. I would have to kill you so.
A Cape Verdean Thanksgiving is totally different. We got cachupa, jacasida, gufonguin, and
Basically, all
pastel,
this shit you have on
turkey and
Sunday.
ham.
Translation.
It's like cachoop,
So pastels is like they take it's almost like an empanada, except they fry Cape Verdean tuna with like a little bit of hot sauce and onions, and you stuff it in there. Oh my God, this shit's so good. You can have it in the morning with coffee too, the day after Thanksgiving.
Leftovers.
Yes, gufonguin is just like potatoes that are like mashed, and you roll it in with like flour or dough. I don't know. My grandmother and my mom knew how to make that crap, and oh my goodness, it was so
Can I say
good.
something real quick?
Yeah.
If you eat Thanksgiving leftovers over the week, you're a fucking terrorist.
No, that's definitely true.
After a week,
After a week, no. After
you
3
never
days, you're not even touching the
You
food.
never like froze turkey?
nah, I'm
No.
talking about that same rotation of shit in your fridge.
Oh, like the size and shit? No, I definitely see my family like the day, like, well, the night of Thanksgiving or the day after. They'll like
That's what I'm
take
saying.
the turkey and like they'll
Popeye.
they do that, or they'll take like if there's like a decent amount of turkey, depending on people are there, they'll like take it and freeze it, and then like take it out like
Nah, I'm
maybe.
talking about actively eating out of the
Oh no.
shit side of
I
your
don't know who does that, but God bless you.
Shit started to get moldy. The kids are already fucking sick of the food.
That's
No.
another G.
And I don't even really like leftovers like
pancakes for
that.
breakfast. You gotta use all this sweet potatoes.
Stop playing with me. I used all my food stamps for the month. But it's good.
Eat all this.
I'm going to hell.
It's funny.
Well, so yeah, Jeremiah, you didn't say what was one of your favorites.
Let me see. See, in my household, we do a lot of the traditional stuff, but it's always the same. I like collard greens minus the pork. I like the baked macaroni and cheese, candy yams. I like all that stuff. But my favorite dessert that my mom makes is her apple crisp. She makes apple crisp, and she makes a really good banana pudding, which is bomb.
Ooh, banana
Sounds
pudding.
good.
All right. Sounds good. Any, like, you ever been to, like, the Thanksgiving at, like, one of those relatives' house, and there's that one relative that always brings a plate and nobody eats it?
Nah, I'm blessed. Fuck it, let's be real. What's your least favorite thing?
That's what I'm saying. You never had, like, a least favorite thing? You know, a lot of people hate on cranberry sauce. I like
don't
cranberry
like
sauce.
it.
You know, I like cranberry
cranberry
sauce.
sauce.
Fuck up a whole kid of that shit.
Oh, they can too.
I don't like
Gotta be a
it.
little cold.
I don't like it.
Yeah, of course it gotta be chilled. You gotta chill.
That's
that
the
shit.
only thing I don't like. And honestly, I really don't eat turkey like that on Thanksgiving.
You know, there's a lot of people who low-key don't eat turkey. I'm gonna say, you know, a lot of people say they prefer ham at
Like with
Thanksgiving.
pineapple and honey and stuff.
Yeah, I prefer
That's
both.
crazy because I don't even eat pork. So all I eat
I don't,
is
but I would eat
turkey
that on
and chicken
Thanksgiving.
all throughout the year. So
You're just
Turkey
denying
ain't
yourself
nothing
that
new.
oink, man. That oink.
I
I
haven't
can't
left
do
the
it.
oink yet.
I can't do it.
No, but I definitely like that. That's the only time I'll eat it.
Oink, oink all day. I can't cut bacon out my life.
Right, it just
I do bacon. I
Substitute
just
turkey
can't
bacon.
do like lamb
Nah, it's
chops
not the
and all that
same.
other stuff.
it is. Turkey bacon is really good.
It's
really
not the
bad.
same.
Yeah, turkey
It's an
bacon's not bad.
Imagine the Prince of Providence.
There came a point in time where I was like, yo, no more pork, none of that, right? It's been years now, but eventually when you go a long period of time without something, you realize you really don't need it. So certain
I didn't
substitutions,
say I don't need it. I just like it a lot.
like I don't drink milk. I don't
Just
drink
like I
milk.
don't need penny, but I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Like at my household,
I can't.
Te lo mío personal, que lo que, coño.
What he said.
my mom, my sister, they all eat that shit, but I don't eat that.
Nah, man.
I don't know, man. That go without shit sounds like good. Like breaking up with your ex advice. I'm gonna eat this pork. You heard?
I think the
This linguiça here.
one thing.
Like
yeah,
Lisa
I think
Charisse.
the one thing that I've had that I have not become a fan of yet because, yeah, I just had a real bad experience. I had a Thanksgiving dinner with this particular dessert, and now I don't fuck with it. And
You said that like you meant to fuck with it.
no, not pumpkin pie, flan.
What happened? No, let's talk about this.
Wait.
Let's talk about
It's a
this.
little weird if you're not used to it.
Yeah, she was first. Yeah, exactly. Because every time I bring this up, I'm like, like it was so somebody that was like a classmate of mine. This was like years ago, like in high school. We had a potluck. Shit was trash. I'm sorry. Shit was trash.
I
Shit
think
was-
you just didn't have the right one.
It was just bad, watery and jello-y. And,
I love
like, how do you have a jello and it's just like watery? Like I don't get it. I like cheesecake.
Maybe
It
it's a
is.
texture thing.
And there was no
It's
taste
close
to it.
to it.
It was just bland. It was just like eating like tofu cold. Like it was just
Oh,
gross.
no.
That's not one of us.
Your classmate failed
She
you.
was straight.
You know what I like?
Yeah, she was straight mommy.
You tried.
No, she was not.
Yeah, man.
We don't claim her.
You don't
Tres
claim
leche.
Like to the point. Yeah, to the point. Her name was Janet, but they spelled it with a Y,
Yummy.
so it was Janet. You know, Janet.
Well, yeah, that is, you're fired. She fucked up.
Sorry,
Not
Janet.
for us. Even if she spelled it wide.
De lo tuyo, not de lo mío.
Maybe just that. Maybe I got the bad piece. I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe the other half was flavorful.
Quite possible.
Your auntie make you one.
Right?
Change your world.
Rock your world.
Have you ever had a torta?
What?
Torta. So it's basically. So it's basically. I know. It's basically like a jelly roll, except it's rolled. It's like it's like a cake rolled in sugar, and they put guava inside of it, and they roll it.
A cannoli?
No,
No.
no.
That's like a Colombian pastry type of deal.
Oh, word?
Except
Oh, if it's Colombian, I probably
we
try.
well in Cape Verde we call it torta.
Doctor?
Torta.
Dun, dun.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. They put the flakes
you
on
said
top
tortilla.
too.
Yeah.
Cali fresco.
It looks like a big ass Swiss roll.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
goes
strawberry
fruit filling
Swiss
with
roll.
fruit filling, like
Yeah.
guava and stuff.
You know
and
that
it's
strawberry
really good.
Swiss roll they have instead of a chocolate one? That's what it looks like.
That's my go-to dessert.
I like this, because like it's a laid back environment. We usually I still have some topics to bring up and shit, but it's kind of cool just to actually top it up and
Yes,
just go
sir.
wild.
It's the holiday season.
It's holiday, you know what I'm saying? Stick my finger in this chicken real quick.
I'll fight you.
He's like, I'll fight you.
There's enough chicken for everybody.
Anybody have like a really good or a very bad Thanksgiving memory? Either or. Anybody?
Yeah, my uncle died right before Thanksgiving.
Oh, damn.
One year.
I know it was going to go that deep, but,
Yeah, rest in peace.
You know what I'm saying?
It was crazy.
Damn, do you have like a good one to counterbalance this?
Yo, if I'm keeping it 100, I haven't had a good one in a few years, honestly. I've been working.
Am I tripping? Like, didn't we do something on Thanksgiving at the old crib? Like a Friendsgiving type thing?
Close to it, but not on.
Not on? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I haven't had an actual, I don't know, getting older, mommy don't cook us,
I mean, that's what happens as you get older. Family starts,
drifting
everybody
away
gets
and
older.
whatnot.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I got one.
What's up?
So as I told you, we love this apple crisp that my mom only cooks once a year.
Shit must be
right?
legendary.
I need to try this apple.
And I'm not sure if you ever had apple, like if you've ever made apple crisp, but it's a process.
is bomb.
I mean, you gotta peel the apple, skin
it's
them
no
all.
joke. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. So she made this big pan, and it had been in the oven with the oatmeal on top, like it was good. So I go to take it out, and she had it in a big aluminum pan. And I was a kid at the time, and the pan buckles and slides, and the whole fucking thing slides on the floor. So no one knew. It was just me. I picked that shit back up and put that bitch right back in the pan. I'm confessing, right?
Yo, Jeremiah's like, I'm not ruining Thanksgiving this year.
I didn't want to be that guy to ruin the Thanksgiving.
Relative watching this?
I'm sure.
Sullivan.
I'm sure somebody's gonna.
Elijah, whoop his ass.
Yeah.
Yo, Elijah, fuck
Listen, it was hot too. It was hot. I picked it up with my hands and started.
No.
Shoveling
Third
it.
degree apple burns.
Yes, to save the Thanksgiving, I did.
So,
I
be
did.
honest, how quick did they eat the pig?
Did they what?
How quick did your family eat that pig?
They didn't even fucking know. They don't give a fuck.
Not one little floor hair gun on it.
The crust at the top of the apple crisp was broken, so it's kind of obvious.
Wow, you did yourself. It was an extra crispy this year.
Yeah. But my mom cleaned the house very often, so she swept and mopped very often. So, I mean, it was a clean house.
How old are you?
I had to have been 13, 14.
You deserved your ass whooped.
Yeah. I
My
mean,
mom would
no.
whip my ass for like a week for that.
Come on. Oh, well. She would have whipped my ass regardless. She found out I dropped the pan, so either way, I was set up for an ass whipping.
Yeah, you kind of had to like take it or leave it at that point. You know, I'm already gonna get beat if I get caught anyway, so it's like I can either cover this up or.
Right.
So, did you recover all of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
Absolutely.
You're a G.
I just ate from the left side of the pan while everybody else ate from the right.
So did you like serve your relatives that you didn't like the left, like and then the ones you didn't like the
Right
right?
side of the
I
pan is
made everybody's
popping.
plate. I mean,
The right side's
That
extra
was
crispy.
bad.
hey, I didn't want to
She
be
put
that
her
guy.
foot in it.
Foot and everything.
So that was my memory. And you know what? My family does know about that. We speak about it every single year, so they know about it.
Okay.
Jess, what about you?
I mean, the really bad one is recently, probably like for 2 years now. We used to always go to we all used to go to my grandmother's house, and you would always find the family there. And, she passed away, and now everyone kind of celebrates separately, and we try to stop in everybody's, house and stuff like that, but sometimes it's hard. So, but I remember growing up, my mom used to host all the parties, the Christmas parties, the Thanksgiving parties, and she would go in. My mom cooks, like desserts, food, like she did it all. on the holidays. And I remember growing up to that and the holidays being really special. And then, you know, you get older and things change in life and you kind of do this thing separately. But now it's time for you as an individual to create your own Thanksgiving, your own Thanksgiving tradition with your children and your family, because, you know, it's just life. That's how things go, you know?
Full circle.
Yeah,
Full circle.
definitely.
You have a story?
I'm not a story per se, but I do remember as far as Thanksgivings go, it usually either be one of three things most of the times. It'd either be A, be at my mom's house, B, most of the times it'd be at my aunt's house. She'd have everybody over there. And I just remember going there because once we go there, it'd be like all the adults would be upstairs and they have like a finished like basement where it was like kind of like the man cave. So they had like an office. They had like a den where like my cousin had a TV set up and whatever games he had, whatever over there. So all the kids would get their plates, eat, and go downstairs after. And I just remember always going there because whatever was like the hot system that came out at that time, like my cousin always had it. Either like if like it didn't matter, like we didn't get it, we already were like, oh, we're going to this dude's house. Yeah, he got it. Like then that's all they would do is just play like Madden. I remember when Halo was a big thing. They'd be down there playing Halo. Even times with 64 as I was GoldenEye, Mario Kart, all that type of
GoldenEye, I
shit.
remember that.
Yeah. So that was good memories I had. And then I would say like the third would be a lot of times I would go to Maryland, to my aunt's house in Maryland too. That'd be pretty dope.
I went to Maryland. It's a really nice place.
Yeah, Maryland's dope. I like
pretty.
Maryland. It's very, I wouldn't say underrated, but it's just it's a place that I think a lot of people just hear and it's like, well, Maryland, but it's pretty big.
And it's clean.
And it's clean. It's just a lot of nice areas, a lot of dope things to do out
I've been to
there.
Maryland.
Maryland's
Baltimore's dope.
Baltimore's dope too.
Yeah.
Depending on there's some rough areas there too. Don't go to the wire. The wire.
Well, I went to the White House, traveling through that area.
Oh yeah, because DC.
And it was just super clean. I just remember I'm like, wow, this place is super clean. Like the
DMV.
streets, everything was like just neat and clean. I was like, this is nice.
Definitely,
You know,
definitely.
for
Talking about DC? Yeah, you know what tripped me out about DC? That wasn't my experience.
I was gonna say
was
mine
traveling.
either.
Everything within a 1 mile radius away from the White House was beat the fuck up.
That's what I was gonna say.
where?
I was like,
Washington,
DC.
DC,
No.
like yeah, like it's
I
kind of
mean,
didn't
maybe
get that
I
experience.
didn't see that part.
yeah, like once you venture away from like the main like the White House and all like the tourist attractions over
historical
there.
areas.
Yeah.
If you get like a mile or two.
Well,
out,
there was
something
like a
that's
little
cool.
downtown area, like a downtown. I mean, I'm not from there. I was just going through there.
Yeah.
Decided to stop there. I was with a friend. It was during COVID, so we drove to go drop her daughter off to her dad, and we were driving back up, and I was like, you know what? I really want to go to the White House. I've never been there. I want to see it. I want to go there. It was deserted
Oh, yeah.
at that time. And it was literally clean as hell on those streets, like clean. And we went through a nice, I didn't see no bad part. I think we went through the downtown area where there's a restaurant and like all of the beautiful little building complexes and stuff right before going into, towards the White House. And I thought the place was beautiful.
Yes, sir.
So obviously, keeping in the spirit of the
Spirit of the holidays.
yeah, got a frog in my throat real quick. So yeah, spirit of the holidays. Thank you for recovering that for me. By the
got
way,
you.
that's why we're a team up here.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some things. So these things are obviously you have to be happy and just appreciate what you got.
Yes.
But there are those times where we all get our feelings and wish we
I'm a
had
Cancer. I live there.
lived there. There's times where we wish we had more, deserve more. Maybe some people think. But here's the question I'm going to raise to everybody. I think, Jess, you brought this one up. And is materialistic selfishness a powerful driving force in the world? So materialism. Materialism. I mean, I feel like everyone's kind of materialistic at some point, like to some extent. To some extent. Even if, like,
No,
you
I
say,
think-
like, oh, I'm a minimalist, well, then you're materialistic at being minimalist. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's your thing.
I just think that materialistic means, like, people are so driven by product name and brands, and that's what materialistic means. Like, they go for, like, it's basically the brand. Like, everyone, oh, well, you have this, well, you don't have this. Or they spend all their money on, like, the big brands' clothes. Like, it's just materialistic, and it's driven that way. It's, like, really selfish.
I think that the way that the world is set up nowadays is kind of set up so that it forces you to worship money, and it pushes you in that
brands and
direction. So, yeah, you do need money. You need money to do many things, but money is not the end all.
No,
And I think that nowadays people worship money too much.
Really. They worship money, they worship brands.
And worshiping money,
And sometimes they don't even have it
worshiping money leads to a lot of
to be
other.
purchasing shit like that.
But that's honestly, I feel like has to do with a lot with what's projected out in society. Well, maybe not even just society, but people, especially younger, I don't want to say kids, but even young adolescents, young adults, they see these celebrities, and I mean, you gotta understand, especially in the era we're in right now, it's so much more glamorized and publicized what these celebrities, the lives they're living, from IG to Snapchat, YouTube, all these outlets that they have to just show what they're doing. And a lot of people see that and they're like, oh, I'm at my fucking cubicle at my desk from 9 to 5, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and oh, this dude's on the yacht popping bottles with all these bad bitches and fucking bikinis everywhere, living life, and it's just like, oh, this has to be easier. There has to be something I'm doing something wrong, clearly, because they're living their life like all the time. But I also say that, is to say this, it's like, it probably took them forever to get, like, you know, like, all those shots they take on their stories and stuff, it's like so many, how many takes does it take for you to get that one that people
but a
are
lot of
jealous
those
about?
people don't got it like that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why I say, because I forgot what comedian it was. I think it was Deion Cole. He said, he said, you don't understand how many takes it took them to get that one that got you in your feelings at home. Because you understand what I'm saying? Like, they could have took 100 takes just to try and make that one shot. Like, I'm popping,
yeah.
like, yeah, and finally like that, just to get you.
That's
to,
like a girl with her selfie pictures.
Exactly, and that's all it is. It's just like, oh, that they're trying to make you feel like, oh yeah, I'm up above, I'm running shit. Like, oh, you niggas ain't doing what I'm doing. And when he said that, it made a valid point. It's like, yeah, it probably took them like 100 takes to get that one. Like, oh shit, damn, I wish I could be doing that. Like, and it's like, really, you want to live your life staging and thinking like you have to live to a certain value, or do you just want to live your life and enjoy it and then appreciate the rewards you get out of it? Like, if you work hard, then I'm sure you're gonna reap the benefits of working hard,
Right,
no matter
right.
what it is.
Right.
I don't think it should be the sole purpose of whatever you're doing. Like, obviously, there's doctors who have their own practitioners, and not all of them are like crazy rich, but some of them are comfortable at what they're doing instead of, you know, working for somebody else. You know, they may not have the biggest practice, but they got their few patients, and they're able to take care of their family, have a couple of nice cars, and they're happy with that.
See, I grew up different. Like, I grew up not having name brand shit.
Yeah.
I grew up not having all that stuff. So when you grow up like that, after you start to get older, that shit really doesn't hold much value to you, for me at least. So I may find a brand of clothing that I like the way it's styled, I like the way it looks, and I may pick that over something that's name brand because I just think the design, the way it is designed is better. Has nothing to do with name brand. Name brand to me is just an excuse for those corporate companies to charge you more money, where I can find an independent designer who has so much skill that designs some dope ass shit. And I think people clout chase and chase too much of these brands when in reality there's some dope ass independent designers out here who do better work.
I mean, I've seen, not to cut you guys off, I've seen the opposite of that too. Like, my family, I wouldn't say they weren't into designer brands or name brands. Because my family was kind of like, they were pretty hip to like as far as name brands and things that came out here. And I don't know if it's just African culture, but I feel like some Africans, when they come, especially from like the first generation to the United States, and they figure out what is what, and this is like the designer stuff, and these are the knockoffs, like to stand out above, unfortunately to say, their own other Africans, it's kind of like a status thing. Like I have, I'm wearing like a Louis Vuitton bag where you're just wearing like a JCPenney bag, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad to say because they see between my family themselves, like, oh, you didn't see Auntie, she just got the new Mercedes Benz. Well, I'm gonna go test drive a Benz next. And that's what it is. It's almost like peacocking. It's like a challenge between themselves, like to show like who's really big success out here.
That's horrible.
And it's horrible. It's terrible. But I say that because of my mom, even though like, me and the kids obviously all growing up like, oh, I want this and that. Like, you didn't know any better. You didn't obviously understand the value of money. You're just asking for shit because you see it. But my mom, I would say, was the best at doing it because she would get you name brand shit, but she was the best, like, bargain or value shopper. Like, she's hitting up TJ Maxx, Marshalls, all that shit. And you wouldn't know it was, like, last season's or this season before. You would just see Nike, you see Jordan, Tommy Hilfiger. You'd be happy. Like, and that's all it is. It's like, at the end of the day, these kids, at a young age, they don't know, like, if it came out this season or 3 seasons ago, 4 seasons ago, who cares? They're just happy that as a brand name. And I've had shit that I've gotten bought, especially even now. A lot of the things I bought haven't even been brand name. It's been like more like tour merch and more like boutique, low, one-off name brands that are just like kind of doing their own thing. And I kind of like it more like that because you're not going to see too many people wearing the same shit as you. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as you going out. I feel like where we've come to now, materialistically, there's so much style and flavor and so many different personalities that is like, you don't have to fit into the regular norm of this box and follow like what everybody's doing. There's people who are literally like Macklemore was shopping in thrift shops, and Macklemore has a lot of bread. Like he doesn't need to shop in a thrift shop at all. You know what I'm saying?
You find a lot of retro stuff there.
But yeah, it's a thing. You find a lot of retro shit, a lot of like unique shit that you're like, yo, no, this shit's so dope, and no one's gonna. And it might be like a little weird or funny, but it's like, you know what? No one else is gonna have this shit.
Right.
And it's all about your confidence and how. And that's another thing. The confidence and how you wear something.
Yeah.
You could take a $10 jacket and just put something.
Wear the fuck out of it.
You wouldn't know it's $10. You can put it on people and think like, well, that jacket looks like it costs like $1,000, but your confidence brings a lot out of it. If you're like, kind of intimidated by what you're wearing. Like,
I think us as men, we have ensembles. We don't necessarily have outfits. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have a collection of items that we put together that form that particular ensemble. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I see, how many times you see somebody rocking these $350 shoes, and in reality, all they have is a black tee and black jeans on, and maybe a name brand, but it isn't much they have on. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I usually spell the book of my mind. I was like, I don't wear like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, t-shirts and shit like that. But look at these $500 kicks I got on them, boy. Right. That's like the whole sum up of my outfit. I do it all the time. I can't even hate on it.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
But
I just think it's crazy because you see people. I know people that are super flashy, have all name brand shit, but don't really have nothing in the back.
But they sleep on an air mattress.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean by materialistic selfishness.
I know what you mean. Like,
you rather put
I got these Jordans on, but I got this termination notice in my mailbox.
Right. Like, where's your, no. And then you'll see,
I got these Dior ones on, but
you can see someone in a regular outfit. Right. You can see someone wearing a regular outfit, just regular shit, and you wouldn't even know he could be a fucking millionaire, but he's a millionaire for a fucking reason.
And I would say that a lot of the people that do have the most money do not dress like
half of these
people literally be in there with like the most casual, basic shit on. You would never know that this guy could buy out any of y'all in a heartbeat like that.
And it's crazy because these celebrities are walking advertisements. So them wearing these name brand stuff, normally half of that shit is given to them to sell an image to everybody else who goes out to buy it.
If you think about it too, a lot of like millionaires, billionaires, they have a routine of just wearing the same shit over and over.
Oh yeah.
Just to save time. 'Cause they
Look at Russell Simmons.
more money.
Russell Simmons really wears a sweater and blue jeans like every day.
Steve Jobs was wearing the same turtleneck
Yeah.
for the rest
It
of
was like a black turtleneck, like a specific black turtleneck.
16 of the same turtleneck.
And the thing is, like, that just becomes, and that, you know what the thing is, like, him doing that, like you said, he's known for doing that. That's his staple. Just like Russell Simmons is known for just wearing, like, the Fat Farm sweater and some blue jeans. Russell Simmons is, like, one of the few people who has so much money, but he can walk into any black tie affair, anywhere, anything, the Met Gala with just some jeans, some tennis shoes, and a sweater on, and no one's going to say shit to him because he's fucking Russell Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what he's done. You know what he's got.
The
Like,
less that you worry about your outfit, the more you could think about like how I'm gonna make more money. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole hustle. Like that's their.
and not even just that, it's like, all right, the less you worry about my outfit, then the more I feel like you're more focused on who I am as a person and what I have to offer as opposed to my exterior. Now you're more into like what I actually have to offer internally.
But I think all in all, us as people, we need to do better in regards to not putting so much emphasis on material things anyways. Like, them shits are all temporary. So, although I do like nice stuff, I'm just saying, like.
No, I love nice stuff,
I like nice stuff.
but don't base your whole life and image off of materialistic shit.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Exactly. That's our point, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
Next topic.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And we're going to take that to move into the next topic because materialism is definitely a driving force for a lot of shit. So greed, jealousy, envy, and even to a lot of crimes. And it can lead to, you know, people. Obviously, we've seen even the cases with he may have been a rat, but 6ix9ine, he got kidnapped over the whole fact of jealousy, just him making it to that plateau, having money, even though he didn't pay some of the people that he had to pay. But that's what happens is people see him still making money, and they're like, yo, you know what? This dude hasn't paid me. I'm gonna go rob him. That's what happens. People, same thing. People see you out here shining from your neighborhood. You might have even just. And it's funny because it's even to the point like, all right, you could be from a block, you know, you're someplace in your hood, you know, you got your boys that you're really cool with, and you got your people that you just run into who are your day-to-days, people you see out and they know you because of who you are and what you're doing out and about. In their eyes, like, yo, that's my boy, but in your head, like, yo, it's like, you know, he's cool, whatever, we're just acquaintances. And you're doing successfully for yourself. And because you don't reciprocate that love to that one person in the same way, they're like, oh, this dude's being shady. Even though you may have not had that deep of a relationship with that person, but in their hearts, they felt like you did. So now they feel a certain type of way. They start talking shit about you, and they start plotting on you, too, to, like, I don't know, you know, rob you, whatever they could do, set you up for somebody else to rob you. It's like you're putting your business out there, and that's what I'm saying. It's not even just materialism, but it could be just envy. Like some people, even to the point that they don't even want to take what you have. It's just that they just don't want to see you have it anymore. So it's like that people will set you up, so somebody else can get you, just so they can find a way for themselves to come up. And that's
right
even
now,
Huh?
Right now, sorry.
Nah.
Right now, with everything going on, people are hungry.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Like it's not like times for everybody in the world right now are in the best standings between COVID, job losses. It's just crazy. Everybody, like you said, people are hungry. People need things and not getting them. And at this point, it's just like, yo. Dogs gotta eat. Dogs gotta eat. I got kids to feed. I got bills to pay. So I gotta get it how I get it by any means because my family and loved ones come first, and that's how some of these people are thinking, unfortunately. And to a certain extent, yes, I understand where they're coming from, but to be taking other people's lives for it that don't necessarily, you know,
it's not right.
Yeah, it's not right. And I'm just meaning like to say this because obviously I don't know if you guys have seen recently. Like we talked about last week when you weren't here, King Von obviously passed away recently through some beef and ATL. Mo, you know, he just recently passed away. And these two have both had a real bright future in music. And they were well respected by peers in the game, people who came before them. So I fast forward to now to say this because Boozy goes out to, I believe, he was in Dallas, Texas, to go to Mo's funeral. And after the funeral, obviously everyone knows Boozy down south, like he's like almost like a Jay-Z type figure down south. Like people fuck with him heavy, like he's an OG out there, they know him. And after the funeral, whoever he was at, I forget, but he gets shot being out there in attempted robbery, I believe. Who else just went out there? Benny the Butcher from Buffalo, New York, from Griselda and all that. He's out in Houston, Texas, and shortly after, like he's leaving Walmart or something like that, and he gets shot in like an attempted robbery, and it's just crazy because between literally I don't remember a time like this, especially with just in the entertainment industry or just between rappers, and I don't just want to say rappers, but like rappers who are really like in the street life too, who just really have had connections and ties to the streets, are really about that life, that have really been affected by this violence like this. I think like the last time was probably that I can remember, besides Biggie and Pac, was maybe even early on when like the drill music was getting heavy in Chicago with like Dirk and Reese and all these guys going back and forth. But now it's like, before it was just like, oh yeah, we're talking shit. People would like fight and entourages will get into little scuffles when they meet up. But now like bodies is dropping and it's just like outside members of these camps or people who are from the same hood who are just like, yo, you know what, this dude's on top. Yeah, he's been eating for a long time. You know what, I need to get some of that money. Let's get this nigga. Like, and it's just crazy. And like you said, like the times right now, I understand it's an unsettling time and there's a lot of people out there who are just like, I need to get it by any means necessary.
I can say this. I think that if you out there flossing, you're flossing these chains, you're flossing, you gotta realize there's people out there who have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So if they hungry, they starving, their ribs is touching, they gonna take you for your food. They're gonna look at you like a big ass meal ticket. And that's basically what it is. So, you know, my say is this, is that when you're being extra flamboyant, extra paparazzi, extra
It's like, what are you trying to
flashy,
prove?
like you're just setting yourself up to be a target. So just keep that in mind as well. And there's obviously something going on here with Benny the Butcher. You got Boozy, you got King Von. These are all targets. And when you're a celebrity, man, you just gotta move differently. You cannot move like me. You cannot move like us. You gotta move a little differently. You gotta staff up. You gotta have security around you. Because at this point in time, man, when things are really getting hard, the economy's getting hard, you are a walking target.
You can have security around you all you want, but you can have someone doing an inside job. Someone inside.
That's how it usually happens.
That's usually how it happens.
These home invasions, Pop Smoke, all these cats, like this is what happens. That's what happens. It's always an inside job.
Yeah, it's usually an inside job. But even the same thing like you're saying, I'm sure like these guys, like if they didn't have security per se, I'm sure they had some of their boys who were like, you know.
That ain't good enough. Not for me, at least.
I feel you, but it's, you know, a lot of these cats are from the street, so a lot of times, like, their boy in the hood who was the quote-unquote shooter or the goon in their hood would be their security, you know what I'm saying? They'd roll around like 4 or 5 of them niggas around them because they knew, like, back in the hood, like, this dude's had my back through a lot worse shit besides, and I'm gonna now pay him to do that shit.
Right.
So
And I get that part, and we all do that at a certain extent.
But I get it too, because it's like, especially with Boozy, like, it's not like Boozy's not like a known cat down
He's
south,
very
like,
well known, yeah.
and he shows like that's all he's about, is showing love and talking about the South and uplifting themselves, and so like, he's got to make sure that. It's just crazy that someone would even attempt to do that to him, because he's not like he's.
And during the circumstances.
Yeah. During the like he was in town to go pay respects to somebody that passed away, and that's what happens. Like, that's so wild.
Well, apparently he was leaving Mall Strip, and then he got into a Sprinter with his friends and headed to Mo's funeral, which is at a venue or something like that. And it's crazy how both Benny the Butcher and Boozy both got shot in the leg.
Yeah, well,
And
Boozy got shot.
I will say at least, I will say this, at least it wasn't another, like,
Yeah.
because as soon as I seen shooting, I was like, oh God, like, because the last 2-3 months in hip hop is crazy. I thought that I automatically assumed they both got killed too. I was like, yo, Benny the Butcher just dropped.
A serial killer.
Yeah, I was saying that too. I was like, yo, there's somebody like a hip hop serial killer, or there's somebody out here like how they were saying, quote unquote, allegedly Vibes Cartel was putting hits out on up and coming Jamaican artists. Remember they were saying that shit, and that's like the whole shit why he's locked up now, because they were finding these niggas like chopped up across Jamaica allegedly. But I feel like that's what's going on with hip hop. Like somebody's out there like, you know what, this nigga's up next, get this nigga. I don't want this nigga.
I just think it's the state of the economy right now.
That's that too. But it's just like, it's just happening so frequently now. It's just so crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like, why?
Yeah, because these niggas want to get strip clubs, throwing out money, making it rain. I mean, big ass watches, my nigga, you're making yourself a target, bro. You don't see Jay-Z doing that. You don't see certain
You can't
artists
say we
doing that.
didn't say Jay-Z doing that.
Yeah,
at
but
one
it was a
point.
different time then. It was a total different time. It was a total
But it's
different
not.
time.
It's if he did it public. He did it privately, not publicly, and a lot of them do it.
You guys didn't watch Backstage, huh?
I did. I have that movie. I have that
Backstage?
movie.
You haven't seen Backstage?
I haven't seen it.
Go watch Backstage and then come back.
The times were different. The
acting
times were totally different. We weren't in the middle of a pandemic. Millions of people didn't lose their jobs back then. This is totally different. Like now.
But that's also true, like, then that's also like, I guess you could say like the golden age of hip hop. So like, even though like a lot of rappers consider themselves rock stars now, like hip hop artists back then were looked at really like rock stars. Like they're coming through, they were literally doing whatever they wanted. Like I mean, to this day, Snoop Dogg, if he comes to do a show, like any floor Snoop's on in the hotel, wherever the fuck he's at, you go to that floor. As soon as you get off the elevator, that's all you smell. You already know what's going on, bro. He's blowing your whole floor down.
Well, we look at
There's no questions asked. I don't give a fuck. He's like, I don't give a fuck where I'm at, bro.
these two separate incidents with Benny the Butcher. He was held at gunpoint in an attempt to rob him for his jewelry, and according to the reports, he was just moving too slow for the suspects, and they just shot him right there in the I believe it's in his leg.
You got him shot in his
They
leg.
shot him in his leg, and then they sped off.
I mean, he's probably trying to, like, I mean, if I was him, probably, he was probably trying to, like, think of a way
At the
to
end of the day, just
prolong that. Maybe something could happen where he could kind of, like, you
Just-
know,
I
or
don't
somebody
know.
with his
Right
boys
now,
might got something. Yeah.
right now, just don't.
Well, let's take we have the King
Don't be
Von.
too flashy.
We got King Von, Benny the Butcher, Boozy, and Mo 3.
Yeah.
Am I missing somebody else?
I feel like, I mean, obviously, there was recently within the week before that, who else passed away, man? We were just talking about a few of them,
Who
too.
is it?
Oh, man, there's so many.
I mean, I'm talking about deliberate, like, criminal acts against another person.
yeah,
I feel like I'm
so-
missing someone.
yeah, that's-
But
I think I
I'm saying against rappers, it seems like it's a big attack. I mean, aside from that, also R&B singer Jeremih was also hospitalized in Chicago hospital. He was put into the hospital for having COVID-19. Was on a ventilator. His prognosis was very bad originally, but now the new update is that he is responsive and that he is in stable condition. So he is doing better. However, he's still in the ICU. He is responsive, but he's still in the ICU. And his family, his friends, Chance the Rapper, 50 Cent, all his other friends are
Puffy hooked him up with, like,
Puffy.
this whole medical team and staff from, like, UCLA and...
they're asking for prayers. So prayers up to Jeremih.
And I think it's dope because obviously, even this year from COVID, there's been a few entertainers and artists that
Have come
we've
forward
lost.
about it.
Yeah, come
Fred the
forward.
Godson.
Yeah, Fred the Godson.
saying that it's real.
Yeah, people we've lost and people that definitely caught it, that were close to it, you know, or just had it very severe.
I'm not.
I just find
yeah,
it
I think
so weird.
everybody,
Jeff had it,
everybody's
it was pretty
body's
bad.
It acts
different.
different, yeah.
I literally got sick 1 week, and then 2 weeks later got sick again. And
Luckily,
I thought
both
it was
times were
COVID.
negative, but
Got
luckily.
tested both times negative. But the second time, I was sicker than the first time. Chills, fever, I couldn't taste.
No, it sounds
I
like
couldn't
COVID.
taste anything. It sounded like COVID. It was the worst. I went and got tested, came back negative, and I was like, I'm confused because I really thought I had COVID and I beat it, and I'm just like, did I have it and it just didn't come up in the test? Because the test says when they send you the test, it says negative, but this does not mean you don't have COVID or you didn't have COVID.
So that's some fucked up shit. Like, so they send you a test, it's like, you got negative, but it doesn't mean you don't have it. So if, like, I take an HIV test, it's like, oh, you, like, are HIV negative, but it doesn't mean you don't have it. Like, that doesn't help me, nigga. Like, no. Like,
You want to hear something
There's someone
crazier,
who
though? You want
had-
to hear something crazy? Oh, go ahead, Jess. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's someone who had one nose swabbed,
Erica
the other one,
Badu.
so
I was just about to say that.
one came out
Erica
negative,
Badu,
one
you
came
said
out
Erica
positive.
Badu.
One side of the nose came out
had
positive,
one nostril.
one negative.
One nostril positive, the other nostril was
and
negative.
you know what's crazy? To think of is like, as wild as that sounds, it's like, it doesn't really not make sense because obviously we've all had colds before. So you know how like you get a stuffy nose, one side be extra blocked with like the mucus, the other one you can breathe out of. So it was like one of those situations where like this side didn't have like the mucus and the buildup with the germs and shit.
So
but
she
this side
quarantined
did,
for
like,
7 days instead of 14.
I don't know.
Take half the time.
I can tell you this, a vaccine is on the horizon. The CDC has a vaccine that is 94% effective, but
And our state will be one of the states to be doing it along with
they'll
like
be
Texas.
piloting,
Oh, they're trying to make it mandatory, but guess what?
I didn't see if they did say it was going to be mandatory. If they do say that, you can kiss my ass and suck my dick from the back with all that.
You heard?
I'm really, oh, my medical lapse. I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's like, fuck out of here with that. I mean, I don't know, man. I can't, I just, like, there's just too much
I
shit
guess we'll
behind
just
this.
wait for that time to get here, when that vaccine gets here. But did you guys hear about Nipsey Hussle's store being vandalized? and
that is
stuff?
so raggedy, man.
Yeah, I mean, and it's bad enough because obviously we're talking about violence and hip hop and things like that. This guy obviously was left us because of violence against himself, and his store was thriving. And the funny thing is, the store wasn't even open anymore. Like, from what I understand, that store was closed. They moved to like just kind of being like an online store. They closed the brick and mortar, like the staple shop in Cali that they had started with. And they pretty much, like, after his passing, they sold a lot of this stuff. They ran through the last sales, and then they moved to strictly online. But they still had that, like, lot in the plaza, obviously for whatever reasons. I'm sure for holding on to his legacy. But they weren't really going to be selling things out of that store necessarily. So they didn't say what happened, but it was pretty much just kind of like just what happened with the riots out here. It was just people were out. Probably just saw the store. I'm not saying that necessarily we're rioting out there, but it was one of those things where they just saw the store, messed it up, you know, graffitied it, smashed windows. They don't know if it had anything to do with past instances with Nipsey or if it was just something like one of those one-off things. But
That's kind of like-
yeah, it's fucked up because it's like something that was left for his legacy and his family, and a lot of people like were going, even like still to this day, there's people going over there and traveling just to take pictures over there and like pay their respects, and which is
You
pretty
gotta be
dope.
a certain type of crab to do that.
Nah, yeah. And that's why I honestly could see like maybe it could just been like one of those random events where it's like people.
Ain't nothing fucking random. People know the story. They know the
I would
story.
hope that was just something you could just be
I'm sure
random
there's memorials
high
out there.
drunk
They could go to any other place and vandalize it. They chose that location.
They knew what the fuck they were doing.
Maybe try to get a little
do it for
name in the
clout.
buzz. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it could have been the family of the suspect who.
And that's what they say it could be. That's why they said they don't know if it's something tied into that. But I feel like what, you know, some people do like to bide their time and do shit, because obviously now things kind of cooled down since then. But
I would think there's cameras there, so I'm sure.
I'm sure,
Oh, they're gonna
because that's not
find
the only
this.
store in that plaza. I'm sure there's already onlookers, but obviously the community came together. They all went out there
Yeah,
to
I
help
seen that in
clean
the
up
video. That was nice.
and everything. And that's dope, because I mean that just shows how much he, as an artist,
Was respected.
somebody from the community, was just respected, because he was just definitely about spreading his message, uplifting and telling his story, and enlightening people of color to, you know, pursue something better. Like, they didn't have to just be gangbangers, and, you know, yeah, you went through that, but there's so much more you could do with this money and your education and your life. So, you know, of course, rest in peace and fly high, Nipsey Hussle. He was definitely a king.
Marathon continues, man.
For facts, definitely was.
And it's
going
crazy.
too soon before like he delivered his message, but there's a lot of other artists and people who follow him that are still working to deliver that message. And you know, peace to your queen as well, Miss London, doing her thing, holding down your whole legacy with the family too.
Beautiful.
So definitely, man.
Now.
We go on like waves or like high, we're like then we go down to the side.
Can we get to some good stuff?
I mean, we're gonna get some good stuff. We're gonna get to the chops.
We got some deep shit. It was like really down.
No, we gotta talk about it. It's just happening. We got shit to be thankful for. We gotta be thankful for all these lovely people of color and of the female persuasion who've made it into, you know, Senate, Congress, all that, and for the government making a change. But apparently, still changes need to be made, because recently, Congresswoman-elect Cori Bush was attending the member orientation for Congress, and obviously with social distancing and everything, everybody has to wear a mask. There's no exception to the rule for governor officials. So she goes down there with a mask, and she's obviously a woman of color, so she decided to wear a mask that said, you know, so my Breonna Taylor on her mask.
You just said her name.
Just the name. And everybody then of the caucus persuasion decided to call her Breonna Taylor. And it wasn't just like a one-off thing, like, oh, they called me Breonna Taylor once. Like, a few random caucus people called her Breonna Taylor on a number of occasions, and it began to upset her, because this is something that was nationally televised. It's like national news. So it's just like, wow, it's just like all this fighting and all this marching and protesting for. You guys are like, oh, you guys are like making a big deal and da-da-da. But clearly we really weren't, because you guys are calling somebody who's clearly no longer with us.
Why? I mean,
somebody else.
I don't know what the point of having
listen to
her
this.
name on the mask.
The mask is.
From Get Up.
Let me tell you why.
If she's passed away,
But
like,
she was just like kind of, you know how like they had like the say their name shirts and like all that. So her being a black woman running for Congress, that was like kind of one of the things. So she just had a mask that said Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, there's no
You
point of that.
didn't see those
She
shirts that
shouldn't
said
have
"I am Breonna Taylor." The reason why they're doing that, especially in those public forums,
Solidarity.
is to keep her name in the
And it was
limelight.
because because
This isn't just a temporary thing. You got to realize this woman, Breonna Taylor, did not get justice for being
and her story
killed in
wasn't
her
fully
bedroom.
told the way it should have been.
Well, obviously, it wasn't fully told, because the congressman and the member of the GOP and her colleagues didn't even realize who the hell Breonna Taylor was. It's kind of sad that these are our leaders, and they are addressing a black woman who is alive as Breonna Taylor, not realizing that this is the reason why all these people were rioting, all these people who were marching, was because
That's the whole
of the injustice that Breonna Taylor went through.
regardless of
How are
like,
you Congress people and people of the Senate and you don't know who Breonna Taylor is? Or you don't educate yourself enough to know who Breonna Taylor is?
I mean, I wear
That's
that.
ignorance. That's irresponsible.
I wear that mask that says, "Bob, what's the fucking van that takes these niggas to New York out here?" The
Barahona.
Yeah, I wear the mask that says Barahona on it, so it's like niggas gonna just keep saying Barahona to me all the time.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't know if anybody's gonna get mad about it, but I didn't know too much about the Breonna Taylor thing, because I wasn't
get mad.
hip. I was never. I didn't hear about it. I wasn't on the news watching the news to hear about it. I didn't know nothing about it. I think if she was gonna wear that, she should have just been like, I'm gonna wear this. Are you guys aware of the Breonna Taylor situation? So people were aware of it, because not everyone is paying attention to everything that's going on in the world.
So it's not everyone, it's the people of the Senate that should be aware of this situation, but was not aware. It's not just about they weren't aware, it's the people that weren't aware.
That's not the point.
Wait. But like she said, she's like, she didn't know much about it. She didn't really hear too much about it. And that's partially one of the reasons why she was wearing the mask. But even though she didn't explain it, but it was to the point like, now where we're at right. Yeah, well, so let's break it down a little bit. So she, like you said,
I mean, if she's gonna wear it, and nobody's expecting her to wear that on her face.
Wait, stop. These are our leaders. These are our people we are electing to be in position. They need to understand that the reason why this country is in unrest is because of the fact that there was an injustice against a black woman that was sleeping in her home. Of course, they should know who the hell Breonna Taylor is. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about D1. I'm not talking about regular people. I'm talking about leaders.
Our leaders.
Okay, but that's fine. But just because they're leaders doesn't mean they don't have a busier life than we do.
But it's your job to stay informed.
Right, but that she maybe nobody knew that she was gonna wear that shit. Nobody was prepared for it. Some people probably didn't know about it. You gotta understand that.
Because I bet they know who Michael Jackson is.
Wait. But that's what I was saying. Like I said, she said that the whole point. She just said it, not to say like she proved it in a bad way, but like she said, you didn't know much about it. You didn't really hear about it. You didn't follow it. Cool. And that happens. But it's also like one of those things like this did happen. And it's
And when I heard about it, I felt totally bad about the situation, because if I was her, God damn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what you know who Breonna Taylor is now, right?
Well, now I do, because I knew from when we had our first our episode. That's how I knew about Breonna Taylor. I don't sit down in front of the TV and watch everything going on in the world.
Yeah, exactly. But my thing is like this, like so, like obviously, like there was because they were complaining about the marching, they were complaining about the protesting, all this other stuff, about all Saturday, and there's obviously a list of over like 30 how many names that there was like say their name this whole protesting thing. And the thing was with hers is that
Sandra Bland, George Floyd.
it was just that the amount of like I don't want to say it was malicious because obviously she was dead asleep in her house.
Mm-hmm.
She had no foresight to what was going on. But it's just the fact that this happened with the police, the story behind it about, the boyfriend had a gun even though like he had a license to carry. He didn't take it out to shoot at anybody. He sees like shots come to his door, so obviously he's gonna grab his gun because he doesn't know what the hell's going on. So it's just the fact that they kind of swept under all these details, kind of downplayed it, and then it was kind of news for like a few minutes, like maybe a couple of days. And I feel like something else shortly around that time happened with another colored like shooting or something like that. So hers kind of got George Floyd happened shortly after that. So her name kind of got washed over, and that was the next thing.
Right.
And I feel that's why, like you said, she's like she probably should have told you, but that's why she did, because people don't know her name and her story, and that's why people are having the mask and the shirts that just say her name.
I mean,
like you said, maybe from somebody being on the outside who hadn't heard it, they shouldn't have just assumed like, yeah, that's her name. Like, but to the point, like, but I get it, right? I do agree with what you're saying, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where there is like a problem because.
We understand there was injustice, but you can't blame some people who don't know about it, because there's a billion other things going on in the world.
Let me say.
Now those people who are told about who Breonna Taylor is, I'm pretty sure they sympathize for that situation.
I think his main. I think what I'm going to throw it back to you, Jeremiah, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think the biggest thing that you're saying is it's not like it's one of us who's Joe Schmo from down the street. This is somebody who's in a position of power, running for power, a governor who's supposed to obviously not know everything, because it's, let's get it obviously out and open. There's no way you can know every little thing of whatever power struggle is going on in the country. But this was something that was national news. happen in like your own backyard. It's something that you should have some type of knowledge of. Even if it didn't even essentially ring a bell, it should have been like you read the name of like Breonna Taylor. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, okay. Not just assume. And first of all, why would you just assume that's her name?
Wait, so this is what I'm thinking.
That's kind of
This is what I'm
confusing on
thinking.
that.
Can I
end.
say something, please? Can I say something? So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that it could have been one of two things. It could have been the fact that they, A, were trying to be malicious, and hey, Breonna Taylor, and condescending in that way, or B, they're completely disconnected and don't know who Breonna Taylor is. And I'm going to opt for option B.
Disconnected. And that's what the Congresswoman herself elected for. Because even she said it when it first happened, like the first couple of times. She was like, all right, it didn't really bother her. It just bothered her because throughout the night, it just continuously kept happening. It wasn't just like once or twice. It was like several or more times that it happened, and that's what bothered me because like she was saying, it's like this is something that was national news. These are people of power who are supposed to be like my peers, who are supposed to be fighting for like the same things as me, and for you to not even know who this woman is, it's just like...
Well, I mean, for them to not even know who the hell she is.
That too.
What the fuck is that?
There's that too.
That's a fact.
And
That's why I'm confused by all this shit. It sounds retarded as fuck.
It could have been anybody else. They could have called her fucking Whoopi Goldberg for a weekend. It still would have been fucked up because it's like, yo, why don't you know who I am? I'm like,
But the
yo,
whole entire world is basically in a roar right now because of the injustice of this girl, and our leaders are disconnected and do not know what the fuck is going on.
This whole world is disconnected.
That's what's disturbing to me.
The whole freaking world is disconnected
That's what's disturbing to me.
from the root.
oh man. But like we said, you know, it's about to go to the chop up. And then we're about to chop up this food because I know my co-host is very, very hungry. Heavy's got,
Heavy hasn't said shit. I heard his stomach talk. I didn't
Nah, you know what? At this point, we're almost done. So you guys, if you feel free to start picking that shit out.
We're almost done.
You want some chicken?
Oh, strawberries. Strawberries are good.
Alright, so,
I'm gonna eat some
boom.
cupcakes.
We had
in
to chop
here.
up. Like I said, we had a couple of things that I wanted to ask throughout there, just for the fun of it before we got up out of here. I know it's Thanksgiving, holiday times, we were trying to keep it a little PG and keep it clean, but it's only right if you ask a couple of ridiculous questions. Jess, you brought this one up, so I'm going to let you get into it. And we're not talking about vasectomies, nothing like that. We're talking about something completely different, whole game changer.
A whole game changer.
Jesse, MJM, let us know what we're talking about right now.
So, you know, it's common to hear about birth control for women, but you never hear about birth control for men. What? And yeah.
Not condoms, birth control.
Not condoms.
I heard her. I'm like,
There's plenty of methods of birth control when it comes to men. But right now they're actually working on an injection, like a vaccine, almost like women get, like a depo shot or anything like that,
once a
right?
year and they're good.
Except from what I heard is that it's injected through the balls and intestine.
Whoa, I didn't know that. This was not discussed in the group chat.
It's injected somewhere in that area. But so I kind of like it intrigued me to look a little bit more deeper into male contraceptives. So the common one is condoms.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows about condoms. Wrap it up. You know.
Don't put them shits on inside.
Oh my God, it was
And then there's also outer course, which is considered masturbation.
outer course?
That's not just
Outer course. Yeah, it's like foreplay, outer course,
I was
no
listening to it
penetration,
when I
that's
found out
outer
that
course.
masturbation was called outer course.
Yeah, it is.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
not
it's
just
outer course.
Well, it's out of the vagina, so I feel you.
It's outer course.
It's out of the vagina, so.
It makes sense. I mean, I didn't have to read the definition to know.
No, and then there's the vasectomy, which is common for a lot of, older men, or not even older men, like men in their like 30s I know have had
a
it.
couple kids.
They're like, damn, I don't want no more kids, I ain't doing this shit no more, and they go and get that surgically done. Although I know someone who had it surgically done and had to reverse it because the wife wanted a baby, and he reversed it. It's thousands and thousands of dollars to do.
Is it easier to reverse it on men than it is with women? Like,
No, it's worse for men, I think.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
women, they can get their tubes tied. I think you can kind of
Yeah, you can untie the tubes. But then there is castration.
That sounds fucked up.
It's an action of surgical, chemical, or otherwise by which an individual loses his testicles. Like, It's like neutering.
Out of all the options, why would you want
No, in
that?
some countries, that's what they do.
Why?
We don't do it here in the U.S., I don't think, but I know in other countries they do that. Now, they're in, right now for male contraceptives, there are in various stages of research and development, and they have one that's called RISUG, which is a reversible inhibition of sperm under guidance. So it's like it's redirecting the sperm.
I already know first of all, there's too many letters in that procedure. I don't like it.
It's like a drum line.
And that's the injection I'm talking about.
R-E-S-B-C-T?
R-I-S-U-G. Anyways, yeah, so there's other methods that actually withdrawal is supposed to be effective. So you withdraw before ejaculation.
Well, you mean withdraw, yeah.
Yeah, withdrawal, whatever.
Which is probably the most easiest.
Which if you withdraw at a significant time, there's a 4% chance of pregnancy. A 4%.
I feel like condoms sound less
If you don't do it if you do it
Our condoms like 99.
too close to that moment, you're about 18 to 27%.
Our condoms 99.8.
It is.
Ain't I don't gotta get no needle in my balls.
It is.
Yeah, fuck
But
that.
it was just, for me, the topic became interesting to me because I heard about injection and I never knew that there was injection for men. And you know what? I think men do need birth control.
Heavy. What did you say in the group
Men
chat?
need birth control.
Yeah, I can't even lie. If I had male birth control, I'd be fucking letting the chicks and not telling them.
Seriously.
This make them scared for
I
no
would let
reason.
them go through the scare and try. I would let them try to get a bullshit money out of me.
Like, nah, baby, you gonna have this baby. You gonna be my world. You my rock.
For real. You can get pregnant for me, you gonna be Jesus twice this year, baby. Fuck is you talking about?
3 months later, gotcha, bitch.
Light ass bitch.
Lying ass bitch. You fucked the DJ, didn't you?
Whose baby is this?
For real. Why was this baby born with a bunch of single braids?
That's funny. So yeah, I was overhearing the conversation. I was injection. I was like, let me look into this shit real quick, guys. We need to talk about this because I want to know.
Well, I know that with the male birth control shot, you're given the shot every 8 weeks. But I did hear that they terminated that shot because of the fact that it was giving men extreme mood swings, like
Sounds like
Really?
mood swings, yeah.
2K.
Like,
So it does something with the hormones.
The side
Yeah,
effects,
the hormones.
your
Yeah.
baby's moms or extreme, like, you're depressed? Like, how is she?
I mean, I don't know. They just said
Am I listening to Tupac crying? Like, what type of mood swings are we
I don't
talking
know,
about?
nigga. Maybe.
Am I listening to drill music, but I'm crying? Like, drill music, but you're crying?
That's just what I read.
Like, am I crying in the dirt?
And then the male birth control pill, right? You said that, right?
Yeah, they said that the male birth control pill is really, it's hard for men to do I don't know why, the reason. I didn't really
What,
look
the
into the
routine
men
of getting
control.
into taking a pill every day?
Yeah, I think it was like, there was an issue with that. That's why you don't hear too many people talking about
Niggas gonna forget.
pills for men
So what I
to
don't
take,
forget that,
you know what I mean?
I never plan on taking Plan B myself.
What I read on that particular, I can't even.
But I think, go. I think men could take birth control pill. I think men would take it.
No, they can, but I think what they're saying is that dudes just forget. Like they'll probably just be like, they wouldn't even think of that as like you know how girls like they really like, yo, no, I need to take that birth control. Guys will probably like the first couple days, yo, I need to take that BC, but then like a week later, nah.
I don't know.
Nah.
So what I read is that as in March 2018 is really when this pill was developed, and it was a breakthrough pill that you basically take this pill for 28 days, and then after that 28th day, the fertility was decreased to near castration levels. So,
Oh God, damn.
Just like taking your testicles out.
yeah, so you take that pill for 28 days straight, and then after 28 days, you no longer can have kids. It's basically.
I gotta bring up the question: what the fuck is in that pill?
I don't know. I'm just.
Because you be like reproducing overnight as a guy, like
Now-
billions of
I
sperm.
want to hear the side effects.
Just to say that, now understand what women go through with birth control. We have tons of side effects: cancer, mood swings, all types of stuff. If it's okay for us to go through it, why is it okay for y'all to go through it?
Dick too.
You know what I mean? Then you guys don't have to worry about, damn, I got this bitch pregnant, she keeping the baby.
I'm not worried about that. You know why I don't worry about that? Because my pull-out game is batting 1,000 right now.
I used to be able to say that.
36 and strong.
Heavy.
Heavy, that was like a big sigh.
Pull-out strong.
Yo, I used to have a pull-out game I could brag about.
Nah, I'm batting 1,000.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
No RBIs, all home runs.
Yo, I used to talk that cash money shit too. Like, if a belly button can get pregnant and shit. Other than that,
You're so stupid.
now look at me.
Alright, so.
No, you didn't tell about the gel though. There's a gel too.
A gel?
There's a birth control gel for men. You apply to the doctors recommend you put on not the balls. I thought it was the balls too.
I was gonna say,
It was a shoulder.
Us? Get the fuck out of here. Not the shit.
Dead ass. We're gonna put the link up there because it's interesting. I've learned so much.
These niggas decided to put icing hot on here.
But none of those options, man, prevent any STD contractions.
Yeah,
so
STDs, like,
it's not gonna help you.
it's not gonna help that, but it'll help, you know,
Worst experience that any
reproducing.
Right. So check out our bio below. Check out the link below. We'll put the bio there so you can read up more about it. Because there's tons of, I guess, birth control options that weren't around when I was younger that are suddenly popping up now, just within the last 4 years. So
You know what's really uncomfortable too, as far as like female contraceptives? What's that thing you got?
ring.
The ring.
Oh my God! To hell with that thing.
Oh my goodness.
That shit feels like fishing string on your.
Why?
What is the birth control shit? Like fishing with
I
the
don't know,
fishing
like,
string?
it's like it's just not a pleasant
Sometimes
feeling. It's not a pleasant feeling at all.
If
What?
can fall out.
Sometimes like you're like trying to
It's
like
just
it doesn't
weird.
like you can't fit in there because it's just like that tight. It's just like yo, this thing is like really like hurting me right now. Like I'm like kind of
You're
losing
bumping into plastic.
yeah, I'm losing the blood flow down here, and I'm gonna pass out. We cut this shit out.
That was, yeah.
All right. So, a couple things I wanted to ask you. So, Megan Thee Stallion. I know we're not gonna talk about
Over her.
yeah, we're over her, but she's about to
I don't
drop
like
that,
her.
Yeah, she's about to drop the album Good News, and I'm gonna ask you this one question. The first song is called Shots Fired. What do you think it's about?
Oh man. The whole situation.
I mean, we're gonna find out. She hasn't said let anybody know shit about
Shots
it.
fired is a withdrawal game.
Withdrawal game. Shots fired. So we're just gonna assume it's about Tori, right?
Nah, I
And
mean,
the whole situation.
You know,
I mean,
You said he lost?
no. She never came out. He came out and he spoke about it through his music. Maybe she's coming out to speak about it.
directly.
Yeah, he spoke.
No, he got into detail in his album about what happened.
Daystar, the whole album. Did you not listen to it?
The most recent one?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard the whole thing.
He gets in depth about their
That's about
relationship
the relationship.
and what happened.
Him even fucking with her like
It was
best
more like a
friend.
diary. It wasn't even like an
Yeah, it
album.
wasn't even like he wasn't.
What you guys talking about?
You have to
The
listen
whole
to. He's talking
album.
about like he's not talking about just the incident.
Nigga, did you
that
listen or
happened.
did you skim
He's
through?
talking about like the
I heard the whole
Yeah,
thing.
he's talking about.
He talked about how people were just talking shit and never direct to him. He talked about like, you know, it's not him, you know, he apologized, he said a whole different stuff, he dropped
He cared about her and like.
one of the some banger, but now he's like, fuck
One of
it.
the songs was about what's it
Heavyweight.
called? You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Just-
gotta do what you gotta do.
They got
But yeah, I have not heard not a single thing of him
One of the
saying,
songs-
No, I mean-
oh, you know.
Then we're gonna all have to sit down and dissect that thing together because I listened to it more than
We're about to wrap
once.
this show, so do I have to wait for him to come back so I can ask this last question now?
You can start with us.
What is the last
I
question?
mean,
Answer me.
just do some of the outro, like,
He got a toddler bladder.
so, talk about like where they could find you and all that stuff.
I hope you're gonna cut out.
Nah, not yet.
And wish them a happy holidays too.
Well, I guess. Happy holidays, y'all. We out of here. Bye. So, what I want to say. What do you guys have immediate plans? Well, you're going to Florida, so you're going to be out of here.
Well,
Too cool.
my ass is getting out of Rhode Island because I think all the shit going on over here is fucking ridiculous. Honestly, it's fucking no. There's no restrictions in Florida.
That doesn't make it
There's
right.
none. No, there isn't. There is no more. There's no more
It's an all-you-can-eat buffet of
You
cuisine.
say there's no more COVID in Florida?
No, but the way they should have handled COVID, instead of I'm not saying it's the way they handled COVID was fucking retarded as fuck. People with underlying health issues and shit should have not even been out. Period. The economy wouldn't be suffering right now because people who are not sick could still be out and putting money into the economy. Now we're gonna shut everything down because people who are compromised are out also and being compromised.
What you gotta also think about is like
And
Rhode Island, we're in a pause, right? Why we're in a pause? Part of the reason is because
they should have never reopened in the spring and the summer.
Yeah, we definitely should.
That's their fault.
The news is announcing, hey, there's a vaccine, 95%, 98, whatever's the number. So people have this mindset, be like, oh, there's a vaccine, I can do whatever
Y'all are
I
fucking
want.
stupid.
So that's the reason why the numbers are spiking. That's why we're all being punished on November 30th for 2 weeks doing nothing. Companies are closing. Everybody who's doing what? Uber, E, all that shit, they're about to make money. You know what I'm saying? Restaurants are going to be, mom and pop shops.
Signed up for my Instacart.
RIP. It sucks. But it's that mindset of like.
But
oh,
it's
this is
crazy. It's crazy how throughout spring and summer there was no high spikes of COVID. All of a sudden, flu season's here, and now we're all fucking getting sick during flu season. It's the fucking flu.
Well, summertime we're all outside though. A lot of scientists explain that you have a less chance of getting COVID when you're like outdoor compared of being indoor like during the fall to winter season. That's why the numbers are spiking because
Okay, so if you're indoor through the winter and the fall seasons in quarantine, why is it spiking? Because you're not around people.
well, you're supposed to be.
How does that
around
make any
people.
fucking sense?
Well, some people are now also.
Some people.
Yes. I mean, like, come on. We have rotten apples around the world that's affecting good ones.
It's a bunch of idiots.
There you go. That's the answer. Idiots.
Yeah, idiots. If you're sick, stay the fuck home.
But they don't give a fuck. I have a friend. His job is to call all of these people. I'm not going to say what's their position.
No, I already know.
But call those people to let them know, hey, you're
positive.
You came out
Yeah.
positive. You got to stay. And those people will tell him, fuck you, I'm going to still do me. Like, really, dude? You have a responsibility of, like, making sure that you don't endanger everyone. But they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. And that's the reason why we're all, like...
And I'm not gonna lie. I honestly, okay, COVID could be real. It could be. Okay? People are getting violently ill and sick. It could be the flu, just with another name, or mutated. Okay? I also feel like even though I feel like it's, I don't know if COVID, I'm still like kind of, is it real? Is it not real? Like, but when I was sick, I did the respectful thing and I stayed the fuck home. So I didn't jeopardize anybody else who is compromised health-wise. So I think that's what people need to consider. And even if this isn't some fucking COVID and it's just a flu, people still who are compromised, if they get the flu, can die. At the end of the day. So I think people just need to be respectful. They need to be considerate of other people's health, and that's that at the end of the day.
I can dig it. I can dig that. I can dig that. I can dig that.
Suck up.
Yes, I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it.
Anyways, happy Thanksgiving.
All right, question for y'all. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I have a surprise question for you three. Josh already knows the deal. What? Yep, Josh already knows. I wouldn't want to ask y'all because I know how I like to ask y'all questions. You guys will start discussing it before we start the show. So I'll put you on the spot and let y'all discuss it right off the top. Y'all ready? Let's go. In the spirit of the holidays, desserts are always a major factor. Yep. The dessert we're in question right about now, specifically, is cheesecake. And this is the question I have for y'all. Y'all ready? It's real serious. Y'all, real serious. I hope you guys have an answer. You guys got your thinking caps on? You ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Go.
All right. So cheesecake. Is cheesecake a cake or a pie?
Go.
It's a custard.
That's not the question.
It's a cake.
It's a cake?
It's a pie.
It's a cheesecake.
It's a pie?
It has a crust.
It's not a fucking pie.
Is there flour in the cake?
It has a crust, like average.
That's not the same crust as a pie. Sorry.
Exactly. Technically, when you make a cheesecake, it's supposed to be made
It's not graham crackers
It's not
and
supposed to be
eggs and
made in a
shit.
pie tin. It's supposed to be made in that other tin.
Graham
the eggs
cracker.
tin. Yep, with the piece of parchment paper. You're thinking about the ghetto Stop and Shop quick way. That's not the right way to make cheesecake.
Why do you think it's a cake?
If you think about the bottom layer,
It's not a pie and it's not a fucking cake.
I'm not finished talking.
It might not be.
I'm not finished saying
Let's have a healthy debate, okay? So those who say it's a cake, why is it a cake?
Jeremiah.
It's not a fucking cake. It's
not a cake.
Why is
It's
it
a pie.
Why is it a pie?
Because it has a fucking crust, like a pumpkin pie does.
Okay, and
But it doesn't have a flaky top.
No, it doesn't. But neither does pumpkin pie.
no, a pie is defined that has
But does that make-
meat on
we
the
can say
top
ask the same-
and bottom. It could be used for veggie, fruit, or any content, as long as there's a layer on top.
I kind of agree with Heavy. I think it is more like a custard.
It is. I mean,
So you think it's like?
but does that fall? So is it a tart then?
It's a little bit more firmer.
But
It's firmer than a tart,
Heavy.
I'm not a big fan of
So
cheesecake.
Heavy, go ahead. You said it's what are you? What are
and
your
it's
thoughts?
firmer than a pie.
Custard.
A custard?
Why is
And
it?
the custard is
Custards don't have crust.
a pie.
Custards don't have crust. Custards are just. Oh my God!
A custard is not a pie.
He said, well, custards are a pie.
A pie's a pie, a custard's a custard.
You can have a custard pie and you can have custard. So it's not the same.
So explain to me, why do they call it cheesecake?
You can
It's not
just get
cheesecake.
custard.
It's a cheesecake. It's a cake cheesecake.
But it doesn't have layers. It doesn't have flour.
It doesn't need to have
Has
layers to
any
be a cake.
Huh?
There's single layer cakes.
There are, but is there flour in cheesecake?
Yeah.
So we're doing the ingredients thing. That's what makes it.
That's what makes
What
it not
case
a
you don't
cake.
have like a flaky crust, like a flaky bottom?
A flaky bottom. Louisiana crunch cakes.
A coffee cake.
But those aren't even cakes. Those are like crumbles.
They are though. This
It's
is
still a
fire.
cake.
It's
All right. So you
I
say
think
it's
it's-
a what? A
Can I
pie?
just say?
I think it's as firm as a cake.
Can I
That's why
just
they
say
call
for
it
the
cake.
disappointed, it said cheesecake surprise, and this is the fucking surprise. I think it's gonna be cheesecake.
No, they call it a cake because it's is as firm as a cake, but it's not a pie.
But it doesn't have flour, and usually cake has flour.
That's why they call it cheesecake and not just cake.
But again,
Cheesecake.
Yeah, I don't know. Your face and what you're saying. Just
So what the fuck do you call it? What the fuck do you call it? What is it? What is it then?
I'm just not as convinced.
The founder of cheesecake. Apparently it's not a fucking cake and it's not a fucking pie. So what the fuck is it?
She's asking. She's asking the
so
founder.
there is an article that talks about these two high schoolers that state is a tart.
And they almost killed each other over this.
No. They just fucked up the internet. That's what they did, being high schoolers. They explained it's a tart because of the format and how it has the...
Oh, you said a tart?
A tart.
Tart, yeah, T-A-R-T.
Honestly,
I mean, it could be as close. It could be close to a tart.
What if I
Yes.
told you guys that I don't give a
That's the
fuck?
only thing-
Cheesecake is delicious. I don't give a fuck what it is.
When this question was brought to me, that was my answer too. So I was like, I don't
There's
give
the
a
argument
fuck.
that it could be a pie because of the graham cracker.
The crust.
Yeah, the crust. Yeah. But that's optional because if you see it, some people don't even use that. Some people will use like
No, but let's be honest.
as the dressing.
Let's be honest though. Your introduction to cheesecake. if you
But
go
a tart is more
If you go to Price right now, that cheesecake, quote unquote, the New York version of it, is gonna have that graham cracker shit.
Wait. A tart and a cheesecake is similar.
That's why he's saying that.
That's why it's a
That's why
tart.
they said it's.
So call it a cheese tart cake.
Cheese cupcake?
It's such a cupcake, nigga. Yo, you just sit that shit left here. No.
Hey, a tart cheesecake.
Yo, just
A tart cheesecake.
hamburgers or salads now.
A tart cheesecake.
A cheese tart?
A tart cheesecake. Cheese tart. Cheese tart.
All in all,
Oh man, but it's been a real fun episode. I'm glad we got to do this.
Can we just go with Oxford Dictionary say?
What is
That's the winner.
Okay,
If
ready?
Oxford says, I believe it.
No. Ask Martha Stewart.
yeah.
She would know.
Martha Stewart.
Yeah, Oxford Dictionary is also going to say Columbus discovered America too.
That's a different story.
Go.
Okay, the first one is a noun. A kind of rich dessert cake made with cream and soft cheese on a graham cracker, cookie, or pastry
Rich
crust,
dessert
typically topped with a fruity sauce.
Rich
That's a fucking
dessert cake.
That's a cheesecake.
That's a cheesecake.
There's no fucking cake in
So
that.
here's the
A
second.
rich cheesecake.
It's flour.
And
Here's
I'm
the
about to
second
use
one.
this a lot as being a photographer. So cheesecake, second definition, photography, a movie or art portray women in a manner emphasizing stereotypically sexual attractiveness.
Hold on, so you say, oh, she's a cheesecake?
Cheesecake.
She's a tart.
This guy, she's
Yeah, she's a tart. Right, exactly.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of cheesecake. I like apple crisp.
Oh, she's a fruit tart. She's a fruity little tart over there.
She's a whole
Alright,
apple
so
crisp.
before we get up out of here, it is mandatory each one of y'all say something you are thankful for before we go.
Oh, let's do a prayer together and call it a day.
I'm thankful.
I'm glad we were all on the same page with that. I didn't say I want to turn this into
I
like
want this set to catch on fire.
For real.
religious segment.
Like, and I'm gonna call myself religious, but I believe in God and I'm spiritually, in tune. All praise due to the Most High. But anyways, I am super grateful for my life, because if you know me, we didn't always think I was gonna make it to today. Shit, if I'm being honest. I'm thankful for my little brother to be sickle cell free. It's been a full year. That's something we didn't always think would be possible, let alone it be coming to fruition and be real. Just thankful to be able to just have another crack at this thing we call life and just make it better and keep working and improving. And thankful for everybody I have in my corner. I'm thankful for you guys as my podcast mates. Everything as little as setting up the camera and the mic. Even though I don't help you guys, I'm grateful for that. You guys do it. I'm being honest. Shit, I'm thankful for that shit. For real, I'm going on. It's like, thankful for D1. That's my dog. He does everything. He edits and he complains and he edits and he's awesome. He's a great guy. So thank you for all you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. I know, but I still do it though.
Yeah.
He'll be like, this shit sucks. I fucking hate that I gotta do it by myself, but I'll do it though. So. Nah, for real, that's love. So just you guys also just as podcast mates, just pushing me to just talk about different things and push the envelope with the podcast, shit like that. I'm thankful that Jess didn't get too drunk today. Praise the Lord. I'm done. Praise the Lord.
And she has liquor sale right in front of
After that concert,
I mean, I've been drinking, but
She's like, fucking motherfuckers and fucking. She's dead blushing. I love you, girl. Just know that.
I love you too, Heavy.
Go ahead, Jess.
She followed us after that.
That's love.
So I'm definitely thankful for this opportunity to be working with every single one of you guys on this podcast. I'm excited every time I get ready to come here because I know it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of jokes, and a lot of love, and we just all vibe, even though we kind of bicker and pick at each other, but it's all like brotherly and sister love. So I love it. I'm thankful for my beautiful freaking children who are smart and intelligent, and I'm so thankful that all of my family members are still here, surviving and thriving, even though things are kind of crazy. I'm so thankful for the man above, that higher power, for keeping me here and grounded and on my feet and moving forward and successful. And I don't think I would have made it through life without him. Amen.
Amen to that. About you, Jeremiah?
I'm thankful for my life's experiences because I feel like every single experience that I went through, good or bad, has kind of helped to mold me to who I am and has helped my perspective on life. And during a time when you're going through like some type of change or hardship or obstacle, you always want to question as to why. Why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me? Why is this doing this? But at the end, when you sit back and you reflect, you're like, damn, that time really helped mold me to be who the fuck I am today. So I'm really thankful for those experiences. And, even though 2020 was a shitty ass year, it helped put a lot of things into perspective for a lot of people. And I'm thankful for that. So for Thanksgiving, I say I'm thankful for perspective.
I like that. I like it. I like it. What am I thankful for?
A lot of shit.
Big booty hoes. I mean,
Get with it!
So ratchet.
I'm thankful for
Fucking class.
the Fresh Prince reunion.
Fresh Prince reunion. I see, look at
They dropped it. If you didn't watch it, go check it out. It's pretty dope. Had me crying from beginning to end like a big ass baby. But for real, what am I thankful for? Same thing. Thankful to be able to sit here every week with you three amazing people with your all individual personalities, and you all have something different to bring to the table. And I think this is why it works so well together. We all have our own opinions and thoughts and voices, but it works, and I love it. This is a great chemistry. I'm thankful for, I guess, just being able to say that I make a living playing music. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people who want to make it to superstar status and everything. I can say I live comfortably doing what I love, and that's all I can ask for. Hopefully it gets better and better. I support my family and all that, and I hide for my family and my loved ones and all my supporters and everyone who's always up there to pick me up when I'm down. And yeah, That's about it. I don't know what these guys is giggling. I hear Jeremiah saying like sweet nothings and Justice here over here and shit. Oh, here's your. I don't know what's going on. Oh, these. Okay.
We're going to
That's
do the
what I
Thanksgiving shares coming from the alcoholic.
No, it's not the alcoholic. It's the lightweight.
That's more
I
appropriate.
am a lightweight. That's why I get that.
But you're all like 4'11" too, so.
I just want to cheers to One Heavy Podcast.
Hey.
Continue watching, comment, follow, like, subscribe.
Yo, I'm grateful for the guy who never gets on the camera, but he puts in just as much work as us.
Amen.
My
Love
guy,
you. You want a shot?
Come on, Josh.
Come on.
my guy Josh, yo. Nah, seriously.
All right, well, he's gonna have one either way after this. If he's
No, seriously.
Cheers.
No, for I'm gonna say this okay, but Josh is a major asset to us.
definitely.
Yo, he's such a good spirit, good guy.
He's like the
So positive.
no face.
No, for real.
Nah, he's like, honestly, I would say this. He reached out saying he wanted to be a part of it. I kind of told him what it is. Like, obviously, none of us are making money off this right now. So I was like, my guy, if you come here, it's going to just be for your own benefit or whatever.
Nah, seriously, he was mad because I got here before him today.
Yeah, it was like,
No, I was offended. Fuck you. Normally I would have been working, so I would have not had this. So, but fuck you, because you was mad.
Nah, but he's also brought a lot of his own, assets and tools to the table.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And it's just making it that much better. So, once again, salute
He's
to you.
doing all this non-glorious shit
Facts.
for us conceited assholes. For real. Shout outs to you,
Appreciate it. Shout out JC, where the fuck you at? Probably in Florida too.
Yeah, shout out to that other asshole, JC, fucking asshole. But I love you too, even though I don't know you that well. But you're also,
asshole.
but you're an asshole like me, so I gotta fuck with you.
All right, say happy Thanksgiving.
And of course,
Thanksgiving.
salute.
Thanksgiving, gobble gobble.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving and salute to you and yours.
Happy
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all, for one.
Yo, let's beat nobody else on the Black Friday line.
Please stay on that Black Friday line.